After playing Last of Us 2 to completion, I felt pretty emotionally drained, and it made me want to go back to happier times. A time before Naughty Dog put all of its effort into making me barbecue puppers.
Coincidence if they weren't. It's fine.
I'm of course referring to Jak and Daxter, which was released in 2001, that long ago. The PS2 exclusive blew us all away with its jaw-dropping art direction and innovative game design, which I'll get into, but first let's talk about the characters. Before Joe and Ellie, we had the dynamic duo of Jak and Daxter. Right off the bat, their design is eye-catching and quickly became the poster boys for PlayStation. Like Crash before them, they were everywhere. Magazines, advertisements, on buses. They were definitely the mascots for the PS2. Jak is the hero who we are controlling. He is mute however, but uses his facial expressions and movements to communicate his feelings. But I do feel Jak being mute helps the player take on his role and really step into his sandals, so it doesn't bother me so much. It is Daxter who is the voice of the two and makes his opinions known no matter who he is talking to. He is also very quick to point out the absurdity of a quest, and we constantly clash with our father figure, Samos, which makes up some of the best cutscenes to the game.
Auga! Auga! Dive for those orbs, Jak! Dive!
Adventurer, you two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? 'Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
The story goes like this. Jak and Dax sneak out of their village one night to sail over to Misty Island, a forbidden place populated by an army of monsters which our heroes discover are led by what seems to be General Grievous and a Harley Quinn knockoff. After being discovered by a monster, Jak defends them both but accidentally knocks his friends into a batch of dark eco in the process, turning Dax into the adorable rodent we know him as today. On returning home, Samos the Grain Sage rightly isn't happy with the two, and explains the only way to fix things is to travel north to find Gol Acheron, who studies dark eco. So now Jak and Daxter embark on their adventure together to right this wrong. So far, can I just say how good this setup is? Already we are introduced to our main cast, and it has established a tone, this sense of wonder and sense of scale that carries throughout the course of the game. The characterization that Naughty Dog is famous for is here, albeit not as nuanced as Joel and Ellie's. This is a Saturday morning cartoon adventure through and through, and that is brought across through the animation, not only in cutscenes but through general gameplay as well. You can totally see the extra detail they added, all the exaggerated movements from every move, the extension of his arm as it gets bigger, as he gets closer to an enemy, or even when in a spin attack when Daxter spins all the way around, and even composes himself when the move is finished. That's the attention to detail that Naughty Dog is famous for today, but slightly more exaggerated. As we are warped into the training area, we are quickly given control and get to explore at our leisure. Yes, this is a linear tutorial area, so there's not much exploration, but what it does do well is prepare you for the journey ahead. First, controlling Jak feels very similar to Crash Bandicoot. He is very responsive, which is important for this kind of game. The difference here is that all moves are available from the offset, so we don't need to unlock any special moves as we go. So no area is locked off to us. It's not like we have to backtrack with a special move. Like it's not like we have to unlock the double jump like we did in Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. All the moves are given to us at the beginning, so we're on a equal footing with the world. This being a platformer, there are lots of goodies to collect, such as precursor orbs, which serves as the world's currency, scout flies, which are locked in red crates scattered in every area. Collect 7 and you'll earn a power cell. These are what you need to progress to new areas. Then, once we are familiar with the movement and how to control Jak, we get to try out Blue Eco. This is our first introduction to the world's source of power. The Blue Eco turns you into Sonic for a few seconds and you become a magnet for collectibles if in range. There are other types of Eco throughout the game. There's green, which is for your health, yellow, which gives you a fireball move, a ranged attack, and red, extra strength. These are balanced where you could only have one at a time, and there's a timed meter on the bottom right corner of the screen. As soon as this area is finished, you are put out into the world. Exploring the village, we meet lots of varied characters bursting with personality. Though if I were to have one complaint, it'd be that once you complete their task, that's it. We find out nothing more about them, and their only role is to give us power cells. I get this is to keep the pace snappy, but it would have been nice to have a little more from them.
Oh my, what a horribly sick little bird.
You don't look so good yourself, lady.
Oh, sorry.
Playing this game again, I am still very impressed that there's not any loading screens at all. This is a game from 2001 when this was rare on console, and all the areas are also detailed and different to one another. Even the music changes so seamlessly that it fully immerses you into this game's world. Loading saves are quick, and on death, you're never too far away for it to be a problem. Instead, it welcomes you to try again. So if you miss a jump, or you feel that you died unfairly, or even if you've missed a time trial, you're only a few steps away from retrying that section. So anyway, exploration is rewarded so much in this game that you're never too far away from a power cell or collectible for them to be a nuisance. You may even spot one in the middle of a cutscene or from a different part of the area, encouraging you to go grab it. Vehicles are present here and there are many varieties. The zoomer is used for progressing to the next big section of the game through a timed obstacle course. I do love these, they are very tense and challenging, and they do vary throughout the game. So one minute you're flying through a lava tunnel, the next you're chasing these mad bombers up a mountain. It's some good stuff and very entertaining. Other times we're using them to race through rings. These are usually time trials, and you have a certain amount of time to reach the next ring before it expires, and then you have to restart the whole course again. So this is my problem with it, is a lot of trial and error, because you don't know where the ring is going to appear until you pass through the previous one. So there's a lot of memorization involved, and it can be frustrating. But this was a game released in 2001 where there was no hope for any DLC, so they had to find ways to pad out the game. So these are optional. There are optional tasks where you don't need every power cell to progress to the next part of the game. I say you only need about 4 or 5 in each section, and you can keep going. So I usually just skip these parts, but I do try them. I just don't enjoy playing through them over and over again just to nail it in the end. That's just the kind of person I am. I just couldn't, especially for this review, I didn't want to put myself through that mess. My favourite vehicle, well, it's not really a vehicle, it's the bird you save in one of the tasks, comes back and you can use it to traverse the tar in the swamps, and later on in the game, I can't quite remember right now, but there are sections of the game where it's almost like a platformer, but you can jump higher, you can hit harder, you could access areas that Jak and Daxter couldn't access before, and the design is just adorable. My girlfriend loves it. It's one of the best striking designs in the game, and it's very memorable. Like, the whole aesthetic of the game is memorable. It's why I'm talking about it today in 2020, 19 years after this game came out. It's always been in my mind. I've always replayed it. I replayed this on the PS4. It's not remastered, I wouldn't call it remastered, it's just upscaled. So you can kind of see defects in the animations, especially during cutscenes. You could hear the audio glitching out sometimes. It's, as far as emulation goes, it's okay. I just wish this got the Crash Bandicoot remaster touch to it. I hope a developer does pick it up in the future, because it would be awesome to see this trilogy brought to next gen, and I would love to play through them again. Jak and Daxter holds a special place in my heart, because it came out at a time where this new console was coming out, the PS2, everyone was so excited about it. I was finally old enough to understand what hype was, so I really looked forward to what this game was. I remember on a demo disc I had that I borrowed from my uncle, and on the DVD you could see the trailers of upcoming titles, and one of them was Jak and Daxter. And I remember asking for it for Christmas one time. Me and my brother were so excited for it. We waited a whole year for it to come out, and when it finally came out, we just never stopped playing it. We just loved it. We loved the world, we loved the story, we loved the characters. It was so good that here I am, nearly 20 years later, replaying it, and still coming away feeling that it's a 10 out of 10 game. If it's your first time playing, I highly recommend it. It's very cheap. You can get the whole trilogy plus the racing game in a collection on the PS4 for a very understandable price. I'd totally go for that. Not much else I can say. Go play it.
Careful! Easy does it! Good job! Now meet me down here by the egg. Oh my! I hope the poor dear's okay. Here's a power cell for your valor.
No, no! No, 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 no!
Look, isn't that cute? It thinks you're its mama.
Ah! I'm not your mom! You see any feathers here?
Oh, love at first sight.